Thumbs up by the touchdown. I'm high stepping for the touchdown. I stay repping for the slums where the young bucks love to load it up just to bust rounds.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host tonight. Sam has a bad back, so I will be doing the heavy load for tonight. Let me introduce you my guest for the Jags. I got Mr. Bearded Guns, Justin Gonzalez.
What's up? What's going on, people? Urban's gone. Woo!
For the Colts, surprisingly, he showed up this week. We got Mr. Haris Ducala. I guess
That's how I feel.
And joining us for the first time representing the Texans, we got Mr. Crenshaw.
What up, though?
All right. Well, guys, before we kick it off to these games, we're breaking NFL news. We'll start with the Browns defensive tackle. I think it was, what was his name? Something Mitchell. Was arrested today for battery assault, and he was handcuffed naked in front of his house.
What?
Yeah, Malik McDowell.
Oh yeah, the defensive tackle. Wow.
Yeah.
For the
Arrested
who?
on charges of battery on
Browns.
police officer, resisting arrest, and public exposure.
Wow,
Just let it out, dog.
that's
Right.
not shocking at all.
Let it
One
all
day.
hang out. Just let it all hang out.
So with the of course, with the season being over, there's going to be a lot more of these kind of things, right? Players get to do more stuff. So I mean, are y'all surprised by this? I mean, what's y'all's thoughts on this?
He plays for the Browns.
Stupid move on his part, but yeah, I don't really. I mean, is it a shocker at this point? Probably not. I think this is his second team because I think he originally was drafted by the Seahawks. Don't quote me on that.
He was
But
a said former Seahawk too.
Yeah, I think he was drafted in the first round, and they probably cut. I think they cut him, and the Browns picked him up. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what happened.
Well, kind of staying in the AFC South. Justin, tell me if I'm saying this right. Lorente McCray, he was arrested today, charged with fleeing police after a high-speed pursuit. I mean,
Damn.
Was he celebrating his Super Bowl win against the Colts, or?
I guess. I mean, he's an edge rusher, like our fourth-string edge rusher, but he's more of a special teams guy, and he's been that way for the Jags for probably, I think, the last 8 years or so.
Years.
But yeah, but like, I mean, he's probably like, we kept the Colts out of the playoffs. Let's go to the bar. Let's go to the lemon bar. Let's go. Yeah, I guess that's what happened.
Crenshaw, you're new to the. What do you think? What's your take on all this craziness?
Well, to be honest, I really don't know too much about it. I saw a notification from the Browns guy, but I don't know too much about him. I think this was last year on the deal. I think he had a 1-year deal with them. But like you said, it's off season. It's dumb. They're gonna do dumb things or whatever. So it's not gonna be the last one. We're gonna get probably a couple more, especially around Super Bowl time. Guys gonna act real crazy.
Right. Well, guys, before we kick it off to the games that happened this weekend, let's go to coaching changes. First, the Jaguars. Justin was real happy. He got rid of Urban Meyer. And then, Texans getting rid of David Coley, which made me and Crenshaw pretty excited. Justin, who do you want and who do you think you're going to get?
Well, since the Steelers made the playoffs and it looks like Mike Tomlin's keeping his job for the long term, I think at this point, for me, it's Doug Peterson, probably Jim Caldwell, and then I guess Byron Leftwich, but I think with our franchise, right? If you look back at like the last 3 coaches, right, it was their first time being a head coach. Gus Bradley, yes. Doug Marrone had the year in Buffalo, okay, but and then now Urban Meyer being a first-time NFL coach, like I think we have to go with something that's a sure bet, and that's someone that's been to the playoffs as an NFL head coach, and you need that consistency in that person. So I think at this point, it's got to be one of those 2 guys, and throw whatever money you got to, because if you go out there and you hire, no offense to Byron Leftwich, yes, he's on one of the greatest teams, whatever, with Tom Brady and all those weapons, but elevating him to, I don't care if he's calling the offense, he's got to be a head coach. And I don't want someone that's going to be a first-time head coach putting that time on Trevor Lawrence, because if Leftwich comes in, he fails year 1, they fire him. Now you're halfway through Trevor Lawrence's contract, and potentially he's going to go somewhere else in 2 years because we can't get our shit together. So that's my thoughts.
Okay. Well, you see that the Jaguars had a second interview with the Colts defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts? Yeah,
dude, badass. He's fucking awesome.
Great, but again, I'm going to echo what I said earlier. I just want someone that's proven. Yeah, I just want someone that's proven. We've tried it too much; it doesn't work, or it hasn't worked. So,
okay.
No, Justin, listen, this is different.
You say that, but I'm not going to believe it.
Literally, 3 straight years has led top 10 defenses. This is very different. He coaches defenses very well. They don't give up a lot of yards. Very good bend not break coach. I think it's something the Jaguars need, honestly. Something they're missing.
Yeah, but how is he going to work like with a up and coming QB, up and coming offense that doesn't have many weapons? Like, yeah, he'll coach the defense up is great, but we still got to score. I mean,
that's not my problem. I just think.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point. You do want that, so we suck. And when you guys come to Jacksonville, you can actually win a game.
Oh man.
Shots fired. Sorry.
Shut up, Justin. Just take the damn guy, okay? Shit.
Well, we'll kick
Get him off our hands, man. Get him off our hands.
We'll kick it to the Texan side of the ball. David Culley fired. Before we get to the for Crenshaw's wants and who he thinks, everybody, including Marcus Spears, has said that David Culley was the setup guy, and he was set up for failure. I'll kick it off to you, Hurries. What do you think? You think it was set up for failure? Was he done wrong?
David Culley?
Yeah.
At first I was like, man, that's really messed up. I feel like the intention was to set him up for failure. Now that I have some time to think about it, right? David Culley wasn't ever a first option for them. It was just somebody, to me, it seemed like he was just somebody that they found and needed something to happen. And a random connection with Deshaun Watson just hit at the time. So it was just something that they needed to happen at the time. It's shitty. It sucks, especially, and I don't want to be that guy that brings up the whole African-American head coaches in the league, but it's unfortunate because, their leash is not very long, out minus a few individuals, right? Was he set up for failure? Maybe, but at the same time, it's almost felt like that was intended, and they would go get the guy that they wanted this offseason.
Well, my question is, why would they do that? Like, why would you waste a year of guys on contract? Well, I guess they don't. I can't say that.
Because they were going to tank anyway, and they didn't give a shit.
Yeah. It just hit me. I agree. Yep. Right.
But hey, kudos. But I don't think he gets enough credit for what he was able to do with what he was given. I think Davis Mills played well. That team probably won more games than anybody expected, right?
I agree.
He deserves some credit there.
I have a feeling. I think I know what Crenshaw's going to say, so I'll let Crenshaw take it off. What do you think?
Well, first let me say something to Justin. What about Mike Zimmer?
Yeah, I think sure. I feel bad for Mike Zimmer because I feel like he gets a bad rap in Minnesota, but he's taking that franchise to miles above
championship.
any other coach has in the past 20 years. But I wouldn't mind Mike Zimmer as long as we hire an OC and a whole offensive, quarterback coach and all that stuff that can really just hone in. Because I think in the Indianapolis game, we saw flashes of what Trevor could be. And if they hire Mike Zimmer, a great defensive coach, I wouldn't be against it. Been in the playoffs, hasn't been in the Super Bowl, but's been in the playoffs.
If he brings
I'm okay with it.
If he brings Clint Kubiak with you,
it'll work well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yep.
Mm-hmm. As far as Cully, no, I don't think he was a scapegoat. He knew what he was getting into when he signed the contract. That's why it was on 2 years guaranteed, and the rest was voided out years. When we hired him, pretty sure Justin and what's the other guy's name? What's your name, sir?
Harish.
What's up, man?
I'm pretty sure when we hired Cully, you guys laughed at us. I bet you.
Everybody laughed.
I guarantee you guys like, who the fuck is that guy?
I was in Houston.
I did say that, but
awesome.
I didn't make fun of you guys. I did not make fun of you guys.
100%. I was like, I laughed at the game. I laughed when he was hired. I'm laughing that he was still hired, but I mean, he did a great job.
He did a great job, but none of the staff came from him. It all came from Caserio. So he hired the whole entire staff. So that should have told him and the other people that this guy was only going to be here for a limited time only.
Yeah.
The coach that I want, I don't really know because everybody want Flores, but to me he's a Bill O'Brien part 2. He wants too much control, and we've been through that. We don't need that. We see where we are now. They say Mayo, but I'm like you. I don't want another first-time head coach. At least be a coordinator. At least be that. But so right now, I don't know who I want to be the coach. It could be Matt. I don't know.
I like that.
Okay. Well, who do you think is going to be it?
I still think it's going to be Mayo because I think Nick wire his brain more. But the guy they interviewed from the Eagles, the DC Cannon, I think that's his last name, Cannon. I kind of like the people that he messed with because him and Clint Kubiak are best friends. But that would push Pep out the way. And for the defense, I forgot the guy that they said it would be his coordinator. It was another familiar guy. So I kind of like that aspect right there. But, he's not a sexy hire, so people's going to be upset about it, if we do go that route. So, I don't know, man.
Well, and the Texans this weekend interviewed Flores, Hines Ward, and Lombardi. Again,
Lombardi.
Everybody's laughing at the Texans because they're interviewing Hines Ward. What's your take, fellas? I mean, is it dumb?
Where is he coaching somewhere? What am I missing here?
Yeah, he's in Florida Atlantic. I think they just interview him for a position job to bring on, when they do hire their guy. Maybe they know who they want and they want to bring on Hines Ward. And maybe it could be Mike Tomlin. It could be Mike Tomlin. I've heard that they want to send a pick to Pittsburgh for Mike Tomlin if they allow it. So that could be up. But I doubt Mike Tomlin comes here. But, you never know.
Gerard Mayo is very interesting. He's just that name that to me kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't know he was even interested in being a head coach. Is he a position coach in New England? I think he's a linebacker coach, right?
Yeah.
So, I watched their games. Their linebacking core wasn't very good. But then again, Mike Vrabel was a shitty defensive coordinator, and it's turning out to be a pretty damn good head coach. So it doesn't really say much. It's just weird to me that the Texans have this infatuation with the Patriots. It's almost like, man, if we just go get what they had, we'll just miraculously be the Patriots. And they continue to do it. And Caserio is an obvious option to that. Not saying he's not doing poorly, right? But he's just going to continue to bring New England guys. And I honestly feel like until somebody has the balls to break that cycle and make a move that is outside the Patriots, I don't know how good that the Texans are going to get. I just feel like there's this like over the shadow of being New England Patriots 2.0. And it's weird to me, honestly, because they clearly, they have the talent. They just need to bring the right guy and stop worrying about it having to be some guy from New England.
So what tree should they follow then? Because they tried the Denver tree, that didn't work. And then the New England tree again, that's not working. So what tree should they follow?
They started with the Pittsburgh tree.
I mean, I don't know. It's just weird to me that everything that they do is the New England tree. What about the Andy Reid tree?
You said it didn't work. You said it didn't work, but we only had 3 losing seasons in the last 12 years.
Well, as far as I mean by work, like getting to the big dance.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Not work. Look, as bad as Bill O'Brien was as a GM, he wasn't a bad head coach. But when you go from Bill O'Brien, you're trying to take the next step, right? What is the next step? And it seems like they've taken steps backwards since Bill O'Brien is a head coach. Obviously, some of that is him doing as a GM, but who is that next step? I think they need to bring in a guy that's done something, right? I think Mike Zimmer would work really well.
Now your coach was going to the Patriots tree at first until he backtracked on y'all.
Sure, and they backtracked, right? And then they didn't. And now Frank Reich, believe it or not, about to have 4 coordinators become head coaches. So he's built his own tree. And Frank Reich is a completely different issue, right? Let's not act like Frank Reich is perfect because he's not. But Nick Sirianni did a really good job at Philly this year. Matt Eberflus could potentially do something well. I don't know. But he's had people go into other positions and do well. So I think Eberflus is somebody they should look at, interview with. I personally, selfishly, I don't want anybody to get Mike Zimmer because I want him to be our new defensive coordinator. Because again,
it's a head coaching job.
Yeah, I mean, unless somebody doesn't do anything, we need to bring that guy in as a defensive coordinator because I'm pretty much tired of Eberflus as a DC. That's so selfishly. I'm done with Eberflus. I backed him 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh yeah, he coached a charm against Arizona, right? Don't get me wrong, but those last 2 games, I can't do it. I'm done.
You said Cole did a good job. With what he was given, I kind of agree with you. But if you go back and look at the seasons, he lost us 4 or 5 games because of his.
He's a rookie head coach.
Well, yeah,
first-time head coach.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. I'd rather not have a rookie head coach.
Why? You don't have a team that's ready to do anything. You bring in a coach to grow with the organization. Like you're rebuilding. Like you've got to bring somebody in that will grow.
Okay. Well, if we knew what they're doing, we win 8 games, 9 maybe.
Do you?
Yeah. If you go back and look at the games, yeah.
How many of those players are you retaining this year?
Well, half of them are going to be gone.
Yeah.
So you're starting over anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. You still get people like Gruger Hill, Pierre Lewis. I mean, you can still get guys who make an impact, and you can give them, and you're not giving them the Bill O'Brien price. You're not overpaying them like you did Nick Martin.
I think you need a core. I think that's the problem, right? You bring in all these impact guys. That's awesome. You don't have a core of players that you can build off of.
Well, that's why he had no draft capital, and every
no, I get it. I understand. And
every player he drafted hit.
Yeah,
that had an impact.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, right? But I'm just saying, like now that the season is over, the hoopla of getting all these guys is done. I think Caserio has to say, first off, if I'm Caserio, my number one thing is figuring out this Deshaun Watson thing, right? I feel like they have to get rid of Watson before they hire a new coach because you don't want to give this coach an ounce of hope that he's going to stay.
What if you hire Flores?
That's going to be hard right there. That's going to be hard.
What if you hire Flores? Isn't Flores a big advocate for Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, he is. And Deshaun Watson, that's part of the reason why he wanted to go to Miami is because of Flores, right? But is that relationship severed? Like, I don't know. It's like does Flores automatically guarantee Watson stays? It
Well,
probably increases your chances, right? But does it absolutely 100%? I'm staying if you bring in Flores.
no matter what, he's not going to play for us anymore. But him
Really?
and Flores are cool because
Damn.
Deshaun's
Casario already
agent.
said he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, Deshaun's agent of Flores, he's the goddaddy to the kids, so that's why they're so cool or whatnot. So that's
got
the
it.
reason why he likes him. You know, they hang out together and everything.
So they have a close relationship.
Yeah, have a close relationship, and I really think that Nick talked to Flores to tell him, "Hey, you want Deshaun? This is what it's going to take." I think he was playing chess and having the fans think we're going to hire him, but we're not going to hire him. He's let me know this is the capital we want. And they go, no, all right, we're gonna make it happen.
Sure.
I'm hoping Flores goes to New York so we can get
Please go to New York.
3 top.
Oh
10
yeah, the
draft
Giants. They have like what 3 of the top 5 picks?
picks. 2.
2?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
3 and 5 is it? Is that what
Eagles
it is?
have.
No. They got 5 and 7.
5 and 7. Okay.
Yeah.
If we make that trade, we'd have 3, 5, and 7.
Yeah, 3, 5, and 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's excellent. That's where you could build a core. You could build a core around that, right? And I think that's what they should focus on more. I don't think they should focus on keeping Watson, and I think they need to bring in a guy to help grow with that core. And that's just personally what I think they should do. I don't know who that guy is. I mean, there's always options out there. I think I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but I do think they need to bring somebody in that's going to build with that core that they're going to trade for, and with the capital that they're going to get from Deshaun.
All right. I got a question for both you guys. Jacksonville, and the Colts.
Yep.
Give me an honest opinion on Deshaun Watson. Do you really think he was really a top 3 or top 5 quarterback, as people say, or
100%.
you guys seen something different? Okay, why?
So if you look at that, was it last year when they went 4-12?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because of Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was making plays all over the field.
Yeah, when in the third quarter when we down by 15 already.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, but I think his ability to create for himself obviously puts him in a different category. I think he has some accuracy issues, but I don't know. Just his mobility puts you. I feel like your mobility in the NFL that we're in puts you in a different level.
Justin, what do you think?
I think that being successful starts and ends with the quarterback. And I think there's only like a handful of quarterbacks that can literally go out there and change the rhythm of the game to the point where they're down and then they can do a quick play, get a quick score, and then a 2-minute drill scoring that. And Deshaun's that guy. He can go out there and just change the tempo of the game. And I saw it in the playoffs when he got kicked in the face or whatever. Like, whatever game that was. I can't remember which one it was. I just remember looking at this guy.
Against the Raiders.
Yeah.
This guy's just dominant. And I mean, I would rather lose a game like 42-38 versus 10-3. You know what I mean? Because it just means that you have no hope. Like, you can have a great defense and run the ball and do 3rd and 1 play action or whatever it is that the Jaguars were in 2017. That shit sucks, man. Like, the defense is fun, but it's not fun going out there and not being able to score. And I'd just rather have a quarterback. And Deshaun's that guy. I think there's only 4 other quarterbacks that can do what he does. And I
get what both y'all are saying, but I'll see what y'all are saying, but I'll raise you the Chiefs game when we were up 24-0. And then when the Chiefs came back, he only scored 7 points through the whole game. Just disappeared.
This is so wild to me. Okay, this is wild to me. Mm-hmm. He put you up 24-0.
No, he did not.
He didn't.
He didn't.
He only scored 1 touchdown the whole game.
Yeah, it was all a fluke. They fumbled. We got a block punt. It was all a fluke. It happened real fast. But look, we can go back further. When we played y'all in the playoffs, he didn't score his first touchdown to 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So how can you be that dynamic of a quarterback and go that long without scoring?
So you're saying that people can't have bad games? Aaron Rodgers doesn't have bad games? Russell Wilson doesn't have bad games?
In the playoffs?
It doesn't happen? Russell Wilson's never had a bad playoff game. Never, ever.
I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to think.
I'm pretty sure Russell Wilson has had a
And
bad.
I'm pretty
playoff
sure
year.
he didn't score his first touchdown until the fourth quarter.
Russell Wilson. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
The
I'm
only
pretty
bad
sure it's
playoff
happened.
game he had was having a bad coach not handing the ball off to Marshawn Lynch.
I'll be honest. If you give Deshaun Watson to that 2017 Jaguars team, they win 2 Super Bowls, hands down. If you put him on that team,
So they still beat New England in New England with Deshaun Watson.
absolutely. Are you kidding me? Like the only thing that Blake Bortles ever had to do was convert like 3rd and short, right? And he could never do it. It was a screen pass behind the line of scrimmage, or it was a duck pass that went 3 yards in front of the wide receiver and he couldn't catch it. Like, yeah, Deshaun Watson could have did that and more, and we would have been. Yeah, I think we would have won 2 Super Bowls in all honesty.
But y'all chose Leonard Fournette over Deshaun Watson.
Don't get me started. Yeah, don't get me started. Our front office is a bunch of idiots. So, we chose fucking what's his name too? Blaine Gabbert 2 picks before JJ Watt. I mean, we're dumb. We know we're dumb. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Well, and you also picked a punter before Russell Wilson too.
Stop.
Well, don't feel bad. We picked freaking Jordan Werner instead of DeAndre Hopkins. So
Right.
it happens. We all have had shitty. So
I hope you guys are. I hope the rest of the NFL is like you guys, and think that because I want them to pay up all the picks.
Yeah,
of course you do, because you need to rebuild. So yeah, of course you do. And somebody's going to do it. Like, there's teams lining up willing to do it.
Oh, okay, I got one. Give me y'all top 5 then. Give me y'all top 5 quarterbacks. Since
today
you say he's a top 5. Give me a top 5, including him.
Oh, hold on, I got to pull up a chart.
I'd say Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. I'm leaning Joe Burrow is starting to enter that category. I mean, it's hard to not say Tom Brady's still not a top 5 QB in the league.
Okay, so that's your 5, right?
That's my 5.
It's easy for me. It's Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes down.
And then maybe depending on who you are, I would probably take Dak over Russell Wilson. And then I do agree that
no Matt Stafford.
No.
I don't think he's top 5.
Too many interceptions. I think that you can even make your case for Josh Allen in the top 5, and then I agree. Joe Burrow's there.
Justin Herbert's getting there. Like,
yeah, I think next year he'll be there for sure.
There's a handful of guys that are getting there or almost there.
Okay, so Justin, so you don't have Deshaun in your top 5?
Well, okay, he is in my top 5. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't. I was trying to include 4 guys plus Deshaun Watson.
Okay, so he is in top 5. So how can he be a top 5 quarterback and never been an All-Pro?
Well, yeah.
Well, how many All-Pro quarterbacks make All-Pro? 2.
What happened?
2 All-Pros make the quarterback list, right? Not all 5 are going to be All-Pros every year.
Well,
Tom Brady's been an All-Pro for like 80 years.
Josh Allen was an All-Pro.
When? Last year?
Last year.
Okay, so what did he do for the 4 years before that?
Well, the 2 years before that, he was every year he got better. He won 5 games, won 10 games, then he won 12, 13 last year, and
so Deshaun Watson never got better.
No, think about this. Think about it. Listen to me. All right, his rookie year, he thrown 19 touchdowns in 6 games. He come back his sophomore year and throw 26 touchdowns. So how the hell is that getting better? So you throw 7 more touchdowns in 10 more games. Then he come back the 3rd year and he threw for 400 less yards and 26 touchdowns again. So he got worse and worse every year. But what it is, the dynamic plays you guys see, y'all think he's this, he's that, but he's not really that. We want him to be a pocket passer.
So then y'all shouldn't be getting top 5 picks for him. You shouldn't be getting top 5 picks for him if y'all don't think he's that good.
It's an illusion. It's an illusion right now.
Okay. All right. Well, when he goes to another team and wins the Super Bowl, we'll see what the illusions look like. That's fine.
I think my thing with that is that we got to look into like the stats because yes, I don't watch Deshaun Watson as much as you guys do, right? And I get that, and I understand that. We're watching the 30-second clips on ESPN sometimes, or we're watching a half of the game in between our games, and I get that. But I think like when stats are out there, I always like to think of the makeup of the team. Is it because of, hey, he didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, or is it, hey, his receivers were hurt all year? Or there's so many factors that go into stats. But I think when you look at him, just me personally, Jaguars fan, just looking at him from that perspective, like what he can do on the field, like that's just my opinion. I think he's a top 5 guy.
So when you guys went 4-12, Deshaun Watson had 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 picks.
Yes. Playing from behind.
That's not all on him.
Playing from behind.
You have a defense, man.
Okay.
You have a defense.
All right. Patrick Mahomes won an MVP, 5,000 yards with a 31st ranked defense. So don't tell me that we didn't have no defense.
Yeah, and then
it doesn't
you
matter.
look like shit with no left tackle in the Super Bowl last year and most of this year.
And look what he had still.
And he
leads.
By the way, Patrick Mahomes leads the league in interceptions this year. So he's automatically not top 5.
No, he doesn't. Ryan Tannehill does.
Oh, sorry, second.
Yeah, but like, does he have the same weapons though? Like Deshaun Watson had the same weapons as
Who on Tyreek Hill's level does Deshaun Watson have?
He did. He had D-Hop. D-Hop was the best.
He hasn't had
receiver.
D-Hop in 2 years.
Okay. What about Travis Kelce? Who's his number 2 option? I mean, there's so many
Last
factors.
year was Will Fuller, and Will Fuller was great.
Will Fuller has played 5 games his entire career.
Okay,
Dog
all right.
shit.
Okay.
Will Fuller was out there,
see,
you cannot say he was not great.
5 games. Will Fuller is basically Paris Campbell.
Yeah.
Let's stop.
He's better than Paris Campbell.
Dog
How
shit.
do you know he never plays?
All right. Okay, so what you just said about his weapons, see that to me that would make the top 5 quarterback. Devontae Adams don't play, Green Bay offense don't miss a beat. It doesn't matter who on the ball Rodgers throwing to. That's what a top 5 quarterback does. Okay. Dak Prescott, since you brought up Dak, when Dak was a rookie, they was 2-14. His rookie year, 13-3. Lamar Jackson, when he came to the Ravens, won in the playoffs. He took over, won an MVP, 13-3. They uplifted their teams. When Deshaun came to us, we was 9-7, lost in the second round of playoffs, and we went backwards. He didn't do nothing to the team.
He got hurt. Dude, he played 6 games because he got hit every 5 seconds.
He got hit every 5. And how many of those was on him?
There's some blame to go on to him. But his sack percentage is 8.5%. Hell, even last year it was 8% of the time he's getting hit or sacked.
Because instead of
on
taking the check down,
on that one, he holds the ball on to an average of 7.1 seconds.
Yep.
So with y'all's logic, right? He threw for 5,000 yards last year. He should have thrown for like 8,000 yards with the way that y'all speak. Like, he's like, well, he should have thrown to his check down. He should have done this. He should have done that. So he should have had 8,000 yards. Was that your expectation?
So let me tell you. So you're behind by 21 points. You're going to run the ball?
That's not all on Deshaun Watson, man.
We're not saying it's all on Deshaun Watson. But most of the stats, what you're not getting is most of the stats is when he's down. It's not when they're tied. It's not when they're up. It's when he's down. It's all there in the pudding.
All right, you know what? I got.
Well, you know what? Well, it doesn't really matter. Y'all get rid of him anyway.
You said his sack percent was 8.9.
Last year was 8.3. Oh, okay. 8.9. Yeah. Last year was 8.9.
Okay. This year, our line was hurt all across the board. How in the hell we had the least amount of sacks in 2016? So why these? Why Tyrod and David Mills can get sacked more?
I don't watch the Texans. Except for the 2 games we crushed y'all. And I haven't watched the Texans, so I don't know. Y'all scored 3 points in 2 games, and so I don't really know.
Yeah, we scored 3 points 2 games.
So that's all I know when it comes to Texans this year. I'll be honest with you.
Well, go.
Also, I have my own QB purgatory to worry about. So.
Right.
Okay, speaking of your quarterback, you want him back next year?
I don't want him back. I think the thing you have to look at is who are the reasonable upgrades you can probably go out and get, right?
Kirk Cousins.
Derek Carr.
Fuck no.
You
Kirk
want
Cousins?
Derek Carr?
Kirk
Absolutely not. Derek Carr is one of my top 3, right? My top 3 is
Derek Carr?
Oh, I'd 100% take Derek Carr. Yeah,
Yikes.
he was one of my top 3. I'd 100% take Derek Carr.
Justin, if you were a Colts fan, who would you take
Out of all the quarterbacks right now,
that you can get?
like, can I use draft capital to go trade for a quarterback that's under contract?
Yeah.
Yeah, so why not?
I would throw 2 first-round picks and trade whatever you want for Russell Wilson.
That's
now.
my number one option.
Yeah, I mean, right now, because he's a guy that literally, like, he's probably one of the better ones available. I'm trying to think. I know I'm missing someone. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers gets out of Green Bay, he's probably my number one. But I would probably say Russell probably has the best opportunity with who's out there that could potentially get traded. 2 first rounds and whatever. Go get him. Go win a Super Bowl right now.
I think there's a couple of things you have to look at.
I think Kirk Cousins would be good under Frank Reich's system. He's not that bad of a quarterback.
And he don't throw interceptions.
Carson Wentz doesn't throw interceptions either.
That's
he had
true,
7.
Carson Wentz, that's true. He doesn't throw interceptions.
But that's Frank Reich. That isn't Carson Wentz, or it's not. Frank Reich has reduced every quarter. He's worked with 4 quarterbacks in the last 4 years, probably now 5 in 5 years. Every quarterback he has worked with has reduced their interceptions by 50%. So that's Frank Reich. Frank Reich is that guy. Andrew Luck reduced his interceptions by 50% in the 1 year he played under Frank Reich. And Andrew Luck was awesome, obviously, right? Phillip Rivers went from 15 to 7. Jacoby Brissett, the year he started, had like 13. He had 6. Carson Wentz went from 15 to 6. That's Frank Reich. That's not the core. That's coaching, right?
I think Derek Carr would be great for you guys.
I think Derek Carr's. I think he's pro. I get Russell Wilson wants to go to New York. Sierra wants to go to New York. Russell Wilson's not going to New York. He wants to go to LA. He's not going to LA. So those are his top 2 destinations. Now I think Russell Wilson. I think there's 2 places that make a lot of sense for Russell Wilson from his standpoint of trying to win. New Orleans and Indy are probably his 2 best options, right?
Indy to win?
I mean, Indy's got a core that they can win with.
Denver wouldn't be bad for spot for
Denver. Okay. I think Denver's going to go all in on Aaron Rodgers.
I think so too.
Because they were, if you remember, they were close on draft night.
Yeah.
That trade almost happened. So I think they continue to push on Denver, and I think they go get. I think they go try to finish that.
What about Carolina?
Nah, they
with Carolina. That's a good team too.
Really? Is it? Who do they have for receivers?
Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore.
Yeah,
I'm decent. Christian McCaffrey twice a year. Hey, not bad.
Yeah, you can say that about almost every team this year got hurt.
Jonathan Taylor played 18 games.
Only player in the whole NFL.
I'm not saying that's going to continue, right? Knock on wood, I probably jinxed it, but you've got Jonathan Taylor behind him, who since Marshawn Lynch, Russell Wilson hasn't had a back like that.
Right. And Russell Wilson, when he was in Seattle, he thrived under a great defense.
Yeah,
Carolina's not great.
Pieces. Yeah,
Carolina's not great, but it's on the border of being great. It was pretty good the first half.
I think they were still top 5 all year, even though they sucked. But I think the defense still was top 5 all year.
Yeah.
I
think I don't know. I mean, I think Indy has a great core on their defense. That scheme just pisses me off, right? Like, you can't allow Trevor Lawrence to go 12 for 12 in the first 2 drives of the game. Like, you just can't do it. Like, you can't do it. You can't allow, you just can't allow Lamar Jackson to throw for 400 yards on 5 drives. Like, you just can't do it.
Well, I think we can both agree the Jaguar game, they came in there seeing what the Jaguars did all year, just assumed that we were just going to be ass and just
Oh, they
want to
weren't
say,
prepared. They weren't
yeah.
prepared. That's on Frank Reich right there. Like they looked uninterested. They looked unprepared. They looked kind of like it's just the Jaguars. We'll win this streak. You haven't won there in fucking 80 years. Like Jesus Christ, take some goddamn pride.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing. Like they had no pride whatsoever. And they're
I
like,
think,
you know what? It's just gonna happen.
I think missing Autry hurt you guys. I really think y'all did miss him.
We were fine until Tyquan Lewis tore his ACL in that interception.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're missing the depth, especially in the corner spot, the safety spot. Y'all just missing the depth.
Corners were good. Safeties really hurt. Blackman going down was bad. That hurt.
Right.
Our defensive ends just.
I don't think it's on your coach. I think
Kwity Paye had moments. Kwity Paye had moments. I can't stand our D-line coach. Watching Hard Knocks made it more obvious that it was just like, guys, you just got to go get it done. Like, look at this. It didn't seem like he was ever developing talent. Kamoko Ture, I think our D-line had moments. I just never saw growth. Like, Ture's been here for 3 years. Like, he should be, he's had ups and downs. Obviously, there's injury that plays into that. Tyquan Lewin is the same thing. Kwity Paye is just really good, and I think he's going to be awesome. I think Dio is going to be good. I just don't feel like there's any development happening on that defensive line for a scheme like this. And ultimately, it's not just the position coach. I think that comes down to Eberflus. And you want to talk about, we were top 10 in points allowed per game the last 3 years. That's excellent. Why are you allowing Trevor Lawrence, the worst rookie quarterback in the league, to go dot you up 12 for 12 in the first 2 drives of the game?
Second worst.
Okay, second worst. Whatever. Trevor Lawrence, until he played the Colts, to throw 1 touchdown in 9 games or something stupid like that.
Yep.
He threw 2 in 2 drives. Like, that's not the defensive coordinator. That's preparation. That's scheme.
Generational talent.
What?
He's generational talent.
I don't give a fuck if he's generational anything. Like, that's unacceptable to me. The Raiders, I think they played well against the Raiders. It's so easy for Colts fans to put what happened this year on Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz played really well in 4 games that we lost because of the defense.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz threw for 400 yards against the Ravens. We still lost. He put us up by 30, I think, and we still lost the game. You beat the Ravens. You beat the Bucks. You beat the Titans. You beat any of those teams who were in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And those, you only had to win 1.
Yep.
So,
speaking of playoffs, Super Wild Card Weekend, first ever 3 days of playoffs. I don't know about you guys, but I loved it.
It was awesome.
Real quick, we'll go one by one. What was the most exciting game? We'll start with you, Justin. What's the most exciting game you thought?
I kind of enjoyed the shellacking of the Eagles, in all honesty, and I think I enjoy it just because it's going to spice up the quarterback market in the off season, which I'm really looking forward to.
Same. Hurries, what about you?
The most exciting game was probably Bengals Raiders. That was probably the one game I was just like, man, back and forth. Both teams are playing really well. You don't really want to know. You don't really know what's going to happen. That was probably the best game of the weekend for me.
Bengals are my dark horse.
They're scary, man. We'll see what happens. They're scary.
Grimsaw, what was your most exciting game?
Well, I'm like Justin. I'm a piggyback for slacking the Cardinals. That was the best game for me because I'm glad they lost. I'm glad they lost. All the talk people were saying about D-Hop and JJ, so I was happy about that.
So, I guess side question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Does Cliff Kingsbury survive this?
Yes.
He got him to the playoffs. Just because they got their ass beat, it doesn't mean that he didn't do his job well.
So, they lost basically 7 of the last 9 games. Obviously, injury plays into that, right?
Yeah, but still, 7 out of 9. Those are some
bad losses.
Yeah, but that's
Lions.
Sean McVay. Like Sean McVay's kept his job and he's ass in the month of November and December. Like he's literally ass, and he still kept his job. So I mean,
Sean McVay's also been to a Super Bowl.
okay, but did he win it?
I mean, he's done better than anything Cliff Kingsbury's done his entire coaching career.
I know, but Cliff Kingsbury's only been in for 2 years now. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
So the trend of Kingsbury losing late in seasons stems back to his days at Tech. This isn't just an NFL problem.
This is third year.
okay.
This
maybe.
isn't. He was horrible in second half of seasons with Tech too. This isn't just an Arizona thing.
The Broncos did fire John Fox after losing to the Super Bowl. So I mean, it could happen.
Yeah.
He lost like 4 of his last 5 with Patrick Mahomes as his QB at Tech, his last year at Tech. So, I mean, this isn't a new problem. I think that year they started like 5-1 or 6-1 or something ridiculous like that, and then they lost like 6 of their last 7 or something like that year.
I could see him getting fired. Does Oklahoma have a coach yet? The Sooners?
Not yet.
They got a coach?
Yeah, they do. They got Brent Venables.
Oh, okay.
I think he needs to go be a coordinator somewhere. Honestly, I've debated people on this. I don't think he's a good coach. He's had way too many collapses, and this is the 6th straight year. And obviously, being a Big 12 fan, right? I've watched Kingsbury for a while, and this is a common occurrence. This isn't new for me. I've seen epic collapses pretty much every year for almost the last 10 years.
Yeah. Keeping it AFC South, like all season, hard to find a Titans fan, but we'll talk it. Bengals at Tennessee. Real quick, who wins it? Crenshaw.
Bengals.
Bengals or Bengals?
Bengals. No, Bengals always. All day. Bengals.
If the Titans can't contain Jamar Chase, they're going to get blown out the water. But okay. I think they do. Right. I think the Titans win by like 2 or 3, like very, very close game.
Justin?
I think it's a close game because I think Derrick Henry comes back and they run the ball. That just less time for Burrow to get the ball, score. I think it's going to be probably, overall score 50, but I think it's going to be like a 29, 27, 28 win. It's going to be something close. I do agree with Harish in that sense. But I think, who do I think wins? I think it's the Bengals, in all honesty.
All right. And before we wrap it up, we know who's still in it. Super Bowl predictions. Start with you, Justin. Who you got?
Oh, God. I really got to do this now. I think... If I had to guess, it's hard to bet against the Bucs, but I think if they play Green Bay, I think Green Bay puts it on them, and it ends up being a Packers-Bengals Super Bowl. That's what I want to see. I don't think the Bengals are going to make it, but that's what I want to see because I want to see like a 50 to 55 score on the board at the end of the game. I want to see 100 points in the game.
Wild, yeah.
I know.
That'd be a wild Super Bowl.
Joe
Burrow versus Aaron Rodgers. That'd be a lot of fun.
I know. So,
Chris, I'll shoot to you. Who's your Super Bowl prediction?
Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I like
all
that.
right. Hurries?
Ditto.
Oh, all right.
I think Josh Allen was the best quarterback of the weekend. And
Matt Stafford didn't look too bad.
I thought Josh Allen was the best quarterback of the weekend.
Yeah.
He was unreal. Like, obviously Matt Stafford for his first playoff game played really well as well.
That wasn't his first playoff game.
Sorry, his first playoff win. It's only like his.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
It's hard to remember.
Right.
But man, I was watching that Bills game and just the plays Josh Allen was making. I'm just like, what the hell? Like, how did he make that throw to Knox in the end zone where it almost looked like he was just throwing it away? Obviously Knox plays a part in that, but there's just, I don't know. I think Josh Allen's on another level, and I'm not.
And they got the defense. They got the defense to back it up as well.
Defense is playing well. You talk about just teams just playing well at the right time. I'm still not convinced Kansas City's defense is that good. and I think it's going to end up exposing them.
Well, I got Rams and Bengals Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I will not sleep on the Titans, though. I've done that way too much this year. That's a team that just kind of hangs around. If you let them hang around, I feel like they get you. So I'll take Bills Packers, but it wouldn't shock me if it was Titans.
And they beat every team except the Bengals.
If the Titans play like they played against us, they ain't winning nothing.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens with Derrick Henry, and I really think that's going to be a key, right? How does Derrick Henry play?
But would you run him like normal Henry, or you give him a snap count?
No, you run him. I mean, at this point, you've got nothing to lose, right?
Yeah, but if you win and he gets hurt and he's out for the next week, then what?
Oh, then you're a stupid idiot for doing what you did. That's not
Well, I mean, you got to win this game to get to the next one. So I think it's whatever it takes. You know what I mean?
Every week. You take every week as it comes, right? And right now, there is no. Well, what about next week? I mean, if you don't win this week, who gives a shit what happens next week? Right?
That's true.
So I think you have to operate with that mentality. I see them running him into the ground 25, 30, 35 carries. I actually do see it being that much. I don't expect him to be on a snap count.
Gotcha. Well, guys, before we head off, we'd like to make an announcement. Our podcast network, Fan Battle Sports, is brought to you by Prize Picks. If you enter the promo code FBSN, they'll match your money up to $100. So go ahead and join, win easy money. Me and Haris both have done it. We can tell you easy layout, easy pickings. I think Haris won like $70. I won 130. So easy money. Go ahead and join. With that being said, Justin, where can we find you on social media?
Bearded Guns with a Z on Twitter.
All right. Crenshaw, where can we find you at?
Fifth Ward Crenshaw everywhere.
Haris?
Yeah, you can find me at the Uncle Gandhi everywhere.
And I need to change my name because he's finally canceled, but you can find me at Cancel Tim Kelly. You can find the podcast everywhere at AFCSFB. Make sure you check out our sister podcast, the You Don't Know Jack, the Colts podcast, and the Texans Fan Battle podcast. Tomorrow, they'll have rap Houston legend Lil Kiki in the building, so make sure y'all check it out. Till then, guys, let's hope the Titans lose. We'll see y'all later. Have a good night.
Later.
I stay repping for the slums where the young bucks started loaded up just to bust rounds. I'm steady having flashbacks. Dirty cash in the glad wraps. I used to cook it like a lab rat. Bag of 50 slabs, asking junkies where the cash at. Steady booming